I know you don't want to get sick this year. I mean, honestly, who does? Stick around, I got all the tips you need right here. Rug up and wear socks. Being exposed to the cold doesn't actually give us a cold or get us sick, but what it does do is it draws all the heat away from our extremities and pulls it back towards our vital organs. This reduces the blood circulation and makes it harder for our white blood cells, which go and fight everything off, from travelling around the body. And when it's cold, the air's humidity is usually very low. This means that our mucous membranes, which normally line our nose and respiratory tract, will all of a sudden dry up and allow it much easier for viruses and other bugs to get into our body. Oh, and we also congregate a lot more indoors when it's a bit chilly outside, so we're usually close with other people, spreading our germs much easier. Stress less. Interestingly enough, there's been a couple of studies done that actually suggest that getting massages or having sex will actually decrease our chance of getting sick, likely by reducing stress. So relax, kick back, and let the stress dissolve away. More honey. Not only is honey an anti-inflammatory, which helps to boost the number of little chemicals known as cytokines we have in our body to fight off viruses, but it also stimulates our cells to actually heal themselves up. This is why it's great at healing up sore throats. Honey also has antibacterial properties too. In fact, there's actually such a thing as medical grade honey, which they actually use on wounds that aren't healing up from infection when antibiotics have failed. So maybe next time you want to go and make a tea or a coffee, instead of putting some sugar in, how about you just drop a little bit of honey in there? More exercise. Like I mentioned in my sleep episode, exercise helps to reduce the level of stress hormones in the body being produced, but it also causes a whole bunch of chemical changes that actually help to boost the activity of our immune system. Exercise should be done all year round, but even when you're sick, doing mild to moderate exercise does help to promote a faster recovery. Just avoid going for very high intensity exercise here. You're not going to be breaking records when you're sick. More water. Hydration is important all year round. Being dehydrated directly affects our immune system. I mean, we're made up of 70% water. Water is important for flushing everything out of the body, which includes all the broken down and mushed up viral particles and bug particles when we do get sick, but also the microbial particles when we're not sick. Oh, and when we're sick, we actually tend to go through more water in our body, so definitely stay hydrated. More healthy foods. You know what they say, an apple a day will keep the doctor away. Maintaining a healthy diet is important to help prevent us from actually getting sick, but also to help treat us when we are sick too. Making sure we get an adequate amount of nutrients from food helps to boost a whole range of chemicals in our body, such as interferon, which is directly involved in fighting off bugs and viruses. Healthy foods also have things such as vitamin C and zinc and other nutrients, which actually have been shown to reduce the actual duration of how long you feel sick. This is likely by the ramp up in production of T cells, but also the ramp up in other molecules such as interferon. Less supplements. I hate to say it as a chemist, but most supplements on the market haven't actually been proven that they will help prevent you from getting sick, outside of all the marketing hype. It's just a way for someone to come along and steal all your lunch money. There are a small handful of supplements that have been shown in real-time studies to actually have benefit. I've already mentioned vitamin C and zinc, but another couple are garlic and echinacea. Garlic has been shown to help boost the production of gamma delta T cells and natural killer cells, which are both crucial in fighting off infection. Echinacea, in a meta-analysis which looked at 14 separate studies, reduced the likelihood of you getting sick by up to 58%.
58%?
And reduced the average length of a cold that people will suffer by 1.5 days. I'd like to throw a special mention out there for zinc. It has a huge role in our body. It's used in DNA synthesis, enzyme synthesis, protein synthesis, wound healing, immune function, and if we don't get enough of it, it's shown to reduce our level of lymphocytes, increase the duration of infection, increase our susceptibility to infection, and lower our rate of recovery. No alcohol. Despite feeling warm and fuzzy when we drink it, alcohol actually dampens down all the signals in our immune system. It does this by actually reducing our body temperature, which causes our body to then kick in a lot of stabilizing mechanisms to help boost our temperature back up. You gotta remember, when we get a virus or a bug, we usually raise our body temperature to help fight it off. So anything that's reducing our body temperature is not going to be very helpful. So that burn you're feeling when you're drinking alcohol, thinking it's not going to go and burn all these bugs away, well, unfortunately not. That's actually just your epithelial cells of the throat lining that are burning. If you think you're getting sick or you are sick, don't drink. More sleep. Not getting enough sleep, which has been defined as getting on average less than 6 hours of sleep per night, actually reduces the activity of our natural killer cells by up to 50%. These are our frontline fighter cells that are always floating about in our body, fighting off random bugs that we come into contact with, which is why we don't get sick every time we breathe air or step outside. We really need these guys to be at their best. And look, once off having a bad night's sleep or a couple of nights in a row getting not much sleep, it's fine. But if you're consistently getting less than 6 hours of sleep per night, you really would want to look at changing that to avoid getting sick. It's also important to make sure you get enough rest when you are sick as well. Other little bits of advice. Almost all the time when you initially get sick, it's likely to be a viral infection. Antibiotics will not work. Flu shots. Flu shots expose us to different strains of the flu each year, so you're going to continually be building up all of this immunity, and over time that exposure will decrease our chance of actually catching the flu by steadily building up our immunity over time to different strains. There's really no reason that we shouldn't all be getting one. There's only a very small population who are an exception to this rule. Cough and sneeze into your elbow. When we cough into our hands, there's a high likelihood that we're going to go and come into contact with someone, or we're going to go and touch a doorknob or another surface and spread those germs around. Coughing and sneezing into our elbow has actually been shown to reduce the amount of aerosols that actually escape our nose, but it also reduces the chance that we're going to touch and contaminate surfaces in the future. Disinfect common surfaces. Phone, door handles, your laptop, anything you take to work, wallet and keys as well, why not disinfect them? Especially as a medical professional working in a hospital, you do it pretty regularly. Remember, stay happy, stay clean, eat healthy, drink more water, move a little each day, smash the subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm, and relax. That's the secret to not getting sick. It's what us medical professionals do all year round, and it's what you should do too. Until next time.